Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? This week, we're tackling all things Tesla. And let me tell you, there's a lot to unpack. We're talking stock performance, new features, and even taking a peek at what 2025 might have in store.
Yeah, it's amazing how Tesla has gone way beyond just cars at this point.
It really is. We've got a whole mix of stuff to dig into, from market analysis and product reviews to even this fun wish list for the future.
Sounds like a plan. By the end of this, everyone listening will be totally up to speed on all the latest Tesla happenings.
Plus, you'll have some food for thought about where the company is headed and how it all affects us.
Right, because it's not just about the cars anymore. It's AI, it's energy, it's like the whole tech landscape.
Okay, so first things first, gotta address the elephant in the room. Tesla's stock is on a tear. It's like investors suddenly woke up and realized, hey, this Tesla thing is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and it's not just hype. Investors are excited about Tesla's potential beyond just making cars. Their advancements in AI and robotics are a big part of it, especially with that self-driving robotaxi service they have planned for late 2025.
Oh yeah, that robotaxi thing. Analysts are putting a $258 per share valuation on that self-driving tech alone. Is that even realistic?
Well, it is a bold valuation, but it reflects the belief that this tech could become a huge source of revenue for Tesla, potentially even bigger than their car sales.
Wow, that's a lot of robotaxis.
Right. But it's not a sure thing. We have to acknowledge the risks involved.
Oh, for sure. What kind of risks are we talking about?
There's regulatory hurdles to clear. There's intense competition in the autonomous vehicle space. And then there's just how the public feels about self-driving cars. Will they trust it? All of that could impact how this plays out.
So it's not just about the tech itself, but also how it fits into the whole landscape, the regulations, the acceptance. It's like a whole new world they're trying to create.
Exactly. And let's not forget Optimus. Remember when those humanoid robots were first unveiled? It was like something straight out of science fiction.
I know, right? It's kind of crazy to think about them being used in manufacturing, healthcare, or even just helping out with daily tasks. The possibilities seem limitless.
Right, but we're still in the early stages. The tech needs time to mature, and there are ethical and societal implications to consider. I mean, how will widespread robot integration change our world?
Those are big questions for sure. But hey, back to the stock for a second. Remember that interesting 6% jump right before President Trump's inauguration?
Yeah, a lot of analysts attributed that surge to investor optimism about Elon Musk's advisory role to President Trump.
Right, like maybe that connection could influence policy in favor of Tesla, especially for their autonomous vehicle ambitions, specifically that cybercab robotaxi business we were talking about.
It was kind of a risky bet, but it seems to have paid off in the short term.
Okay, so we've talked stock surges and political connections, but now let's get to the less glamorous but super important stuff. The ongoing NHTSA investigation into Tesla's full self-driving software.
Yeah, that's a critical development. This investigation could have a major impact on Tesla's self-driving goals.
Remind us what sparked this whole investigation.
So it started in October 2024, covers a whopping 2.4 million Tesla vehicles, and stems from a number of collisions, including that tragic fatal crash in 2023.
And just to be clear, this investigation is happening independently, right? No matter what Elon Musk's ties to the current administration might be.
Absolutely. Sean Duffy, the new transportation secretary, has made it clear that there will be zero political interference. This emphasizes just how important safety and regulation are, especially when we're dealing with technology as advanced as this.
Makes sense. So this is really a pivotal moment, not just for Tesla, but for the whole future of autonomous vehicles, period.
Absolutely. The outcome of this investigation could send ripples throughout the entire industry. If serious flaws are found in Tesla's full self-driving software, it could mean big fines, mandatory recalls, and even delays in launching that robotaxi service we talked about.
Yeah, it's high stakes for sure. But on the flip side, what if Tesla successfully addresses the safety concerns?
Well, in that case, it could be a huge boost to public confidence in their technology and give them a real edge over the competition.
Okay, enough about investigations for now. Let's talk about something a bit more fun, the Cybertruck. Specifically, that incident where a Cybertruck was seized in the UK. What was that all about?
Ah, yes. The Cybertruck was confiscated in Greater Manchester because it lacked the necessary certifications required for UK and European roads. Authorities were concerned about its safety and whether it was actually roadworthy.
It's kind of ironic, right? You have this futuristic, almost otherworldly vehicle getting snagged by, basic road rules.
It's a reminder that even a company as innovative as Tesla has to play by the rules. What works in one country might not fly in another. Global regulations are a complex beast.
It's like a global puzzle they have to solve. And speaking of puzzles, Tesla is facing a new challenge: rising competition in the EV market. Companies like Honda are stepping up their game.
Right. And their new all-electric Prologue is making some serious waves. In the last quarter of 2024, it outsold every other non-Tesla EV in the US.
Wow, that's impressive. So Tesla can't just coast on their early lead anymore. What does this mean for their strategy moving forward?
They need to find ways to stay ahead, maybe through further innovation, maybe by lowering costs, or maybe even by venturing into entirely new markets.
And it's not just the cars themselves. There's also been a shift in how Tesla is being analyzed, particularly with the retirement of Tony Sacconaghi.
Ah, yes. Sacconaghi was known for his rigorous analysis and, let's be honest, his willingness to challenge Tesla. He had some pretty memorable exchanges with Elon Musk during those earnings calls.
I know. Those were always interesting, even if they got a little tense at times. So what does his absence mean for how Tesla is scrutinized in the financial world?
It's hard to say for sure. But his voice and his willingness to ask the tough questions will definitely be missed by many.
Okay, enough about the stock market for now. Let's talk about something a bit more concrete, something people can actually experience. What about those new features Tesla just rolled out in China? Especially all those navigation improvements.
Yeah, those are exciting. They give drivers a lot more control over their routes.
Like what specifically? How does it actually work?
Well, you've got fastest time, which is pretty much how Tesla navigation has always worked. Then there's least congestion, which prioritizes routes with less traffic, even if they take a little longer. And then there's prefer highways, which is great for longer journeys, but I get why some people might want to avoid the highway sometimes.
You know, speaking of avoiding things, I'd love to see an avoid highways option in a future update. That would be a game changer for anyone who prefers the scenic route or just hates dealing with highway traffic.
Maybe that'll be in the next update.
Yeah.
They also added lowest tolls, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Helps you save money without sacrificing too much time.
I like it. It's all about giving people choices and making the driving experience better.
Exactly. And there are a few other cool things in this China update too, like those service area functions. It automatically prompts you as you approach highway service areas in China, giving you a list of nearby amenities. Imagine pulling up to a supercharger and instantly seeing what's around.
That would be so helpful, especially on a road trip. I'd love to see that feature in other regions too.
And then there's the ability to unlock supercharger bollards from inside the car. No more fumbling with your phone or key card. It's a small thing, but it just makes charging that much smoother.
Totally agree. Especially when those supercharger spots are in high demand. Small improvements can make a big difference.
Speaking of improvements, have you heard about the refresh they did on the Model Y? There are a bunch of changes, both functional and aesthetic, all aimed at making the user experience better.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the headlines. Can you break down the biggest changes for us and how they actually affect the driving experience?
Well, one of the most notable things is the return of the turn signal stock. They got rid of it in the Model 3 refresh, and well, it seems they decided to bring it back based on feedback.
So they're listening to what people want. That's good to know. What else did they change?
They also updated the steering wheel, which now has fewer buttons thanks to that stock coming back. And if you're all about cargo space, the new Model Y has power reclining rear seats that can fold completely flat. You can control them from a button in the trunk or on the front screen.
That's pretty slick. It sounds like they're really focusing on practicality and making the car even more versatile.
Right. And they even made some subtle but practical changes to the liftgate. There's a new seam that should make repairs cheaper after those little fender benders, and the rear window's more rectangular now. Gives the car a slightly different look.
Oh yeah, I'd noticed that in the photos. It's a bit more modern, I guess.
What else? They also added hands-free trunk opening, pretty convenient feature that's been around on other Tesla models for a while.
Hands-free is always a win in my book. Any other little gems they snuck in there?
They added a drain plug to the frunk, which is perfect if you want to keep drinks cold while you're tailgating or hanging out outside. And inside, there's more double stitching, a redesigned speaker layout on the doors, and they updated the ambient lighting design. It feels even more premium now.
Those are all nice touches. And what about the wheels? Did they get an update too?
Yep, new 20-inch Helix 2.0 wheels, designed for both efficiency and handling. It's amazing how much thought goes into every detail.
It's clear that they're obsessed with constantly improving the design, even down to the tiniest details. It's like they're never satisfied with just good enough.
And speaking of constantly improving, let's talk about a challenge that's crucial for the future of autonomous driving, something we don't often think about: keeping those cameras clean.
That's so true. If the cameras can't see properly, the whole system falls apart. Dirty cameras can seriously mess with Tesla's vision systems and their ability to make safe driving decisions.
Exactly. And right now, only the Cybertruck actually has a dedicated camera washer.
Oh, really? How does that even work?
It's a pretty simple system that drips water onto the lens, and then the wind does the rest. It's not clear if that's included in the new Model Y, but they did add a small shield around the rear camera to help minimize dirt and water splashes.
It's a start, but it's definitely not a perfect solution. What other options are there for keeping those cameras clean, especially as we move toward fully autonomous vehicles where the cameras are even more critical?
Well, they could potentially add camera washers to all the external cameras. Or they could develop some kind of special lens coating that repels dirt and water.
Like a self-cleaning camera. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and maybe we'll even see robotic cleaning systems at those robotaxi hubs they're setting up.
It sounds like this problem needs a whole bunch of different solutions working together.
Definitely. It's a multifaceted challenge, and it'll be interesting to see how Tesla tackles it.
They always seem to find a way, don't they? It makes you wonder what other challenges they're working on behind the scenes, what they'll come up with next.
Well, speaking of what's next, we've got a whole wish list of potential developments and launches anticipated in 2025. Things that could really shake things up.
Okay, let's hear it. What's on that wish list? What can we look forward to in 2025?
Well, let's start with full self-driving. Given the progress we've seen, there's a chance we can see unsupervised FSD released in certain cities by the end of the year.
Wait, hold on. Back up for a sec. For those of us who aren't, like, tech wizards, what does unsupervised FSD even mean?
It basically means the car can drive itself without any human intervention, even in complex environments.
Whoa. So, like, truly driverless cars, is that even possible?
It's getting closer. They've been collaborating with cities like Palo Alto and Austin to set up those robotaxi networks, so those are probably good candidates for an early rollout of unsupervised FSD.
Okay, that makes sense. Predictable traffic, good infrastructure, good places to test the truly driverless experience.
Exactly. Now, on top of that, a lot of people are hoping they finally expand FSD V13 functionality to Hardware 3 vehicles and the Cybertruck.
That would be a huge upgrade for anyone who hasn't gotten to experience the full capabilities of V13 yet.
Right. And speaking of upgrades, let's talk about actually Smart Summon. Its range is pretty limited right now, especially in Europe. It would be awesome if they could improve that, maybe even have it navigate public roads for short distances.
That would make it so much more useful. But given the NHTSA investigation focusing on actually Smart Summon, maybe those improvements will be delayed until the safety concerns are sorted out.
It's a valid point. Safety has to be the top priority. What about the global rollout of FSD? Europe and China have been waiting a long time.
Any news on that front?
Well, it looks like European regulations are finally evolving to allow supervised FSD, so we might actually see it launch there this year. And in China, Tesla's already been given the okay to start FSD testing, so it's just a matter of time.
So the world is slowly catching up to the technology. It's just a matter of navigating all those different regulations and infrastructure challenges.
Exactly. Now, moving on from FSD, there's a lot of buzz about Project Redwood, Tesla's rumored next-generation model.
Ah, yes, Project Redwood. Everyone's trying to figure out what it is. What have you heard?
The rumor mill is churning out stories of a compact, affordable EV, maybe even priced as low as $25,000.
Whoa. A Tesla for $25,000. That would be huge. It could open up electric car ownership to so many more people.
Right. It's expected to be built on the Cybercab platform, and it could seriously disrupt the mass-market EV segment.
I can't wait to see it. And while we're on the subject of disruption, what about the Giga Texas Semi Factory? Any updates on when they'll be ramping up production?
The expectation is full production by the end of 2025, which is great news for the trucking industry.
The Tesla Semi has so much potential to shake things up and really make a dent in carbon emissions.
It's a big step toward a more sustainable future. And speaking of sustainability, let's not forget about Tesla's energy business. They're making some big moves there, too.
Oh, yeah, with those V4 superchargers coming out, offering up to 500 kilowatt charging capacity. We're talking about crazy fast charging times, especially for bigger vehicles like the Cybertruck.
And they're continuing to expand their solar panel, Powerwall, and Megapack production. They're really becoming a force to be reckoned with in the renewable energy world.
It's like they're building this whole ecosystem from electric cars to home energy storage to the grid itself. It's pretty impressive.
It is. And who knows, maybe we'll even see them launch a Tesla home heat pump.
Now that you mention it, they do like to disrupt industries. A Tesla heat pump would definitely shake things up in the heating and cooling sector.
For sure. And of course, there's Optimus. We can't forget about those robots.
Right. We've already seen Optimus take its first steps, do some basic tasks. What do you think is next for those robots in 2025?
I think a big focus will be developing more advanced hands for Optimus.
That makes sense. Better hands would mean they could do so much more.
Exactly. And those advancements have the potential to change how we do things across various industries. But there are definitely some ethical and societal implications to think about, too.
Yeah, we can't just blindly embrace robots without thinking about how they'll impact our world, our jobs, our lives.
Well said. And I think that's a perfect place to pause for now. We've covered a ton of ground, but there's still so much more to discuss.
We'll pick this back up in part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into Tesla's software wish list, explore the implications of their open supercharger network, and discuss what it all means for the future of technology as a whole. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. In part 1, we explored some major happenings in the Tesla world. Soaring stock prices, regulatory hurdles to navigate, and a sneak peek at some exciting new features in the Model Y refresh.
Yeah, and it feels like every time we check in on Tesla, there's a whole new wave of innovation to unpack.
Absolutely.
What I'm really curious about is how those new navigation options in the China update could translate to other regions.
Oh yeah, those features.
Yeah, those could be a real game changer for drivers in North America and Europe.
Absolutely. Think about having options like least congestion or prefer highways readily available for your daily commute or a cross-country trip. It could drastically improve efficiency, convenience, and even reduce stress behind the wheel.
Oh yeah, totally. Speaking of long trips, I personally love an avoid highways option for those times when I'm in the mood for a more scenic route or just want to steer clear of traffic jams.
That's a great point. And imagine the impact of service area functions in other regions. Being able to see a list of amenities at a supercharger location before you even arrive would be incredibly helpful for planning stops and staying refreshed on long drives.
I know, right? That would be a game changer, especially for road trips.
Definitely. We were also talking about Tesla's focus on keeping their cameras clean, which, as we discussed, is a fundamental aspect of both ADS and the future of fully autonomous driving.
Yeah, that's crucial.
Ensuring those cameras stay clean, regardless of weather conditions, is essential for Tesla's vision systems to function accurately and make those crucial driving decisions.
It's a critical factor that often gets overlooked.
It seems like Tesla is tackling this challenge from multiple angles, combining hardware solutions like camera washers and shields with advanced software algorithms to ensure maximum visibility.
It's a complex problem that requires a multifaceted approach. And I'm confident Tesla will continue to refine their solutions as they progress towards full autonomy. Okay, now let's dive back into that exciting 2025 wish list we touched on earlier. One of the most anticipated developments is the potential for unsupervised full self-driving, possibly even launching in select cities by the end of the year. What are your thoughts on that timeline, and do you think it's achievable?
While it's undoubtedly an ambitious goal, I wouldn't dismiss it entirely. Tesla's progress with FSD has been remarkable, and their determination to achieve true autonomy is evident.
It's crazy to think about unsupervised FSD where the car can navigate and drive itself without any human input, even in complex environments. It still feels kind of futuristic.
It does, but the advancements we've seen suggest that this futuristic vision might be closer than we think.
And with Tesla actively developing robotaxi networks in cities like Palo Alto and Austin, those locations seem like prime candidates for early rollout.
Absolutely. Those cities offer controlled environments with predictable traffic patterns and well-maintained infrastructure, making them ideal for testing and refining unsupervised FSD.
Okay, that makes sense. Another item on that wish list that has everyone buzzing is Project Redwood, Tesla's rumored next-generation model. What's the latest you're hearing on this intriguing project?
The rumors are saying it will be a compact, affordable EV, maybe with a price tag as low as $25,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
That would make it one of the most affordable EVs on the market,
Yeah.
potentially opening up electric car ownership to a much broader audience.
The idea of a $25,000 Tesla is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah,
If they can achieve that price point without sacrificing range or performance, it could be a game changer for the entire EV market.
exactly. And there's speculation that Project Redwood will utilize the Cybercab platform,
Yeah.
potentially inheriting some of the cutting-edge technology and features that have made the Cybertruck such a sensation.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to think about what a more affordable, compact Tesla could look like and how it could disrupt the market.
For sure.
Shifting gears a bit, let's revisit the Tesla Semi. We were discussing the anticipated ramp-up in production at the Giga Texas Semi factory. I'm particularly interested in the impact the Tesla Semi could have on the trucking industry, which is a major contributor to global emissions.
Yeah, for sure. The Tesla Semi is a powerful example of how Tesla is utilizing its technological expertise to tackle climate change and create a more sustainable future. With its impressive range, efficiency, and performance, it offers a compelling alternative to traditional diesel trucks.
It really is a step towards sustainability.
Absolutely.
And Tesla's commitment to sustainability extends beyond just their vehicles. They're making significant strides in the realm of renewable energy with their solar, Powerwall, and Megapack solutions.
They're building a comprehensive and integrated ecosystem, from energy generation and storage to consumption, both at home and on the road.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very impressive. The upcoming V4 superchargers, with their incredible 500 kilowatt charging capacity, are a testament to their dedication to pushing the boundaries of charging technology.
They're drastically reducing charging times, especially for vehicles like the Cybertruck, making long journeys even more convenient and efficient.
And the continued expansion of their solar panel, Powerwall, and Megapack production is further cementing their position as a leader in the renewable energy sector.
They're empowering both individuals and businesses to adopt sustainable energy solutions, contributing to a cleaner and greener future.
They are. Okay, now let's venture back into the realm of artificial intelligence and robotics and discuss Optimus, Tesla's humanoid robot, one last time.
Sure.
We talked about the progress Optimus has already made, taking its first steps in performing basic tasks.
Right.
I'm particularly interested in the development of more advanced hands, which would significantly expand its capabilities.
In part one, we talked about
Yeah.
the progress Optimus has already made, taking its first steps in performing basic tasks. I'm particularly interested in the development of more advanced hands, which would significantly expand its capabilities.
I agree. The potential for Optimus in various industries, from manufacturing and logistics to healthcare and even companionship, is truly mind-boggling. However, with such advancements come important ethical and societal considerations.
It's crucial to approach these advancements with both excitement and careful consideration, ensuring that they are developed and implemented responsibly.
And speaking of responsible implementation, let's revisit Tesla's decision to open their supercharger network to other manufacturers. It's a move that has sparked much discussion and debate.
Right.
Some see it as a brilliant strategic decision that will generate revenue for Tesla and accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles by making charging more accessible. Others worry that it could dilute the Tesla brand and potentially lead to congestion at supercharging stations.
It's a complex issue with valid points on both sides.
It is, but I believe that expanding access to charging infrastructure ultimately benefits the transition to electric vehicles, contributing to a cleaner and more sustainable future for everyone.
I agree. It's a testament to Tesla's commitment to advancing the entire EV ecosystem, even if it means sharing their resources with competitors.
It's a pretty unprecedented move in the auto industry. Now, as we move toward wrapping up our deep dive, I'd like to leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder. With Tesla's growing influence and reach, how will their actions shape the future of not just the automotive industry, but also the broader technological landscape?
In part 3, we'll delve into this question further and discuss some final takeaways about Tesla's impact on the world. Stay with us for more insights.
And we're back for the final part of our Tesla deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from soaring stocks to robot hands, from Cybertrucks in the UK to superchargers going global.
It's been quite a journey through the world of Tesla.
And now, as we wrap things up, I want to bring us back to that big question we left hanging in part 2. How will Tesla's actions shape the future, not just of cars, but of the entire tech landscape?
It's a question worth pondering because, let's face it, Tesla doesn't just play by the rules, they rewrite them.
Their impact goes way beyond just making electric cars. They've pushed the entire industry toward a more sustainable future.
Traditional automakers are playing catch-up now, and the way we think about transportation is fundamentally changing.
And then there's AI and robotics. I mean, think about Optimus, those humanoid robots. That's not just about cool tech, it's about the future of work, about automation and how humans interact with machines.
It's a whole new frontier, and Tesla's right there on the leading edge.
And let's not forget their energy solutions. Tesla's changing how we generate, store, and consume energy. Solar panels, power walls, those giant mega packs. It's a shift towards renewables, and they're driving it.
They're building a whole sustainable ecosystem, and it's impressive to watch.
So there's no doubt Tesla is a company that's shaping the world around us right now, and their influence is only getting stronger.
Right, but as their power grows, so does the responsibility to consider the consequences, the unintended side effects.
Exactly. We need to have those tough conversations about autonomous driving, about the ethics of it all.
We need to ensure that AI and robotics are developed and used responsibly, that they actually benefit humanity.
Because technology this powerful can be a force for good or, well, not so good. It's up to us to make those choices.
Absolutely. And now, as we close out this deep dive, I want to leave everyone with one last thought-provoking question, something we didn't explicitly find in our source material, but that stems from everything we've discussed.
Okay, hit me with it. What's the final food for thought?
Given Tesla's constant drive to innovate and their willingness to go where no one's gone before, could we see them branching out into totally new industries?
You mean beyond vehicles and energy?
Exactly. They have this incredible expertise in AI, robotics, manufacturing. What if they applied those skills to, say, healthcare or agriculture?
Wow. I mean, those are big leaps. But knowing Tesla, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Right. And that's what makes them so exciting to watch. They challenge us to think bigger, to imagine what the future could hold, even if it seems a bit crazy right now.
Well, I think you've given our listeners a lot to chew on, and that's what these deep dives are all about. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of the Tesla universe.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep your eyes on Tesla because who knows what they'll come up with next.